This video is on Unit 2, Part 2, Introduction of Using Slopes with their Slope Triangles. So in mathematics, the slope of a line is represented by the letter M, and we can see it's defined as the following. So slope is represented by M, and what it is the change in Y, which means subtraction, over our change in X. And you will see that we have this little icon here, this little triangle, and that represents change. So that is what they call a Greek letter delta. And instead of writing out the word change, we can use that symbol to represent that. So we're going to get started with problem 1. Slope is a measure of the steepness of a line. It is the ratio of the vertical distance to the horizontal distance of a slope triangle. The vertical part of the triangle is called change in Y. So that's the part that goes up and down, while the horizontal part, the part that goes left and right, is change in X. So we are going to find the change in Y and change in X in our picture. So looking at the picture, you will see that they have a dotted line there for the slope triangle. I'm actually going to change that, and I'm going to do my slope triangle above. So I can have my change in Y, so see how much I'm going up, and my change in X. So I'm going to ignore what they have. So if I look at my change in Y, I went up 2 blocks. So my change in Y, my vertical distance is going to be 2 because we're going up 2. The horizontal distance is going to be over 4 blocks. So if I put this all together, like I have up here at the top of the page, and I do my slope, well, that's change in Y over change in X. Well, I already know my change in Y is 2 and my change in X is 4. So I have 2 over 4, which can be reduced to 1 over 2. So my slope for my slope triangle is 2 over 4, which can be reduced to 1 over 2. So if I go back to my picture here, each time I'm going to go up 1 over 2. So I want to check. So here's my point. If I go up 1 block over 2, there's my next point on my line. Up 1 over 2, my next point on the line, and so on and so forth. So our slope is going to be up 1 over 2, or 1/2. For problem 2, we are going to examine the slope triangles in the picture. So we're going to find the slope using slope triangle A. So again, they give you the 2 pieces here. I'm going to do my slope triangle above the line. It's still going to be the same result. I'm going to go up 6 blocks and over 4. So my change in Y over change in X is 6 over 4. 6 over 4 can be reduced. We can divide both of them by 2 to get 3 over 2. So my slope for slope triangle A is up 3 over 2. And if I check that, if I zoom in here, if I start at this point and go up 3 over 2, it's on the line. Up 3 over 2 is on our line. All right, looking at slope triangle B here, we're going to do the same thing. We want to figure out how much we're going up and over. And again, I'm going to do it on the top of the graph. I'm going to go up 3 over 2. So my slope triangle B, change in Y over change in X, is 3 over 2. So what do you notice? Well, these are the same slopes. And that brings us to the point about this problem is no matter where you pick your 2 points to make your slope triangle, it will always be the same slope. It's a constant change. So even if I continue to go up 3 over 2, you can see it's still, oops, I missed the line there, but it's still on the line. So no matter where you pick your 2 points, your slope will always be the same, up 3 over 2. Problem 3, Michaela was trying to find the slope of the line shown at right. She selected 2 lattice points. These are where the grid lines intersect. And then she drew a slope triangle. So looking at the picture, first of all, a lattice point is a point where the dot is right on like the intersection of the grid. So those are nice points that we like to use when we go to do this. So for example, this would not be a good point right there because it's not on that intersection. So her teammate Cynthia believes that the change in y, right here, is 3 because the triangle is 3 units tall, but her other teammate Essie thinks it's -3 because it's 3 units tall and the line is going down. Who do you agree with and why? Well, the side there is 3, but Essie is correct. And the reason why Essie is correct is because this line, oh my gosh, I can't write. So Essie, because the line is decreasing. I'm in trouble with this iPad because the line is decreasing. So as we go from left to right and we do our slope triangle, it's going down 3/4. So Essie is correct. So that slope is going to be negative. So if it's going down and to the right, it is a negative slope. For the last question, problem 4, one way to think about slope is stair steps on a line. So picture yourself climbing or descending the steps from left to right on each line. So of lines A, B, and C, we want to figure out which one is the steepest. So if we take a look at line A, line B, and line C, you will notice that line B is going to be the steepest of the 3. It's almost straight up and down. It would be hard to walk up that hill. And then of A and C, C is the least steep. C is more horizontal than letter A. For letter D, it says examine what direction is traveling from left to right. So as we go left to right, notice that we are going down. So when we go to do the slope for line D, it is going to be a negative slope because it's going down and then to the right. So to finish, we are going to find our slope for line A. So like I did the other problems, I'm going to do my slope triangles above the line. So that coincides with how much I'm going up and over. So I'm going to go up 1/1, and I can check up 1/1 each time. So when I go to do line A, I'm going to go up 1 and over 1, which just reduces to 1. So my slope for line A is 1. For line B, so if I pick my 2 points and I do my slope triangle, I'm going up 3 blocks and over 1. So line B is going to be 3/1, which is just 3. Line C is up 1 block over 2, up 1 block over 2. So that's going to be 1/2, or just a half. We're going to leave it like that because that can't be simplified. And then line D, this is going to be our negative slope because it's going down. So we're going to go down 2 and over 5. So -2/5. So the last part of this says, how does slope relate to the steepness of the graph? Well, slope and the steepness are directly related. So we're going to say directly related. So the steeper the line, the bigger the slope. And we can check that because we had said line B is the steepest. And notice that line B, the slope is the biggest. And even the least steep line, which was line C, has the smallest slope. So they are directly related.